Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
Talking Christmas time, now there's this weird kind of rule of thumb around Christmas where you're sort of just feeling dusty for most of it, right? For the days leading up, the days following.
Some would say the weeks following, you know. I'm still feeling a little dusty.
There probably are people still recovering.
Yeah, it does take a lot out of you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's nothing better than when you're feeling a little dusty, you wake up in the morning and you get a nice cold drink, right? Now, whether it's water, a soft drink, sometimes I like to indulge in a cold chalky milk.
Okay.
Right? You know, I don't know what it is, but when that lactose hits my tongue, oh baby.
It's a household favourite, you know, and it's I don't know, I feel like I rival it against your Nesquiks and your Milos, you know, it's just something that's good to have in the fridge.
But you're talking about like a already pre-made one, right?
No, I was making it. Nesquik.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I got up, I was like, oh, geez, I just need something to wet my mouth. I need to rehydrate
and it
myself.
has to be a chalky milk.
Yeah, so I've gone to the fridge. There's 2 milks in there, and I'm looking at each one, and I'm like, what the hell? One's light, one's full cream. So I'm like, I'm going to go the full cream one. That's what I want, but it looks really off, right? It looks like, it kind of looks brown or something. But I'm like, I don't know. We never have full cream milk in the house.
Right.
And I was like, this is what I want.
It's like the bore water equivalent of milk.
Yeah, so I fill up a pint glass with this milk and then put in my Nesquik, stir it all up, and I'm like, cold chalky milk, you beauty. And I take my first sip. And I would just about, as I'm about to take it, Dad goes, whoa. Did you check that milk's not off? Because I don't know why there's 2 in the fridge. I'm like, oh, good call. Maybe that's why it's brown. Check the date, 1st of January. It's all good.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Good to go, raring to go. Take my first sip, and as I do, this happens. Goes everywhere. I spit it out everywhere, all over the kitchen. Yeah.
I'm glad you said what that sound was, because it could have been anything.
Could have been either end. I don't know.
I had to clear that up immediately.
The milk could have been really bad. The immediate consequences.
No.
So you spat it out.
Yeah, milk everywhere, all over the floor, all over the kitchen bench. Dad goes, I told you that milk looked off. And then he's smelling it, I'm smelling it. I'm like, I don't know why this milk would be off. And it takes us about 10 minutes. We're both just as dusty as each other at this point. And we look at the lid and it says E-N and, Chrissy.
Okay, right.
What is this, Da Vinci Code?
Yeah.
I just want to know if the milk's off or not.
And then we discover this milk isn't really milk, it's eggnog.
Ooh.
That my sister's partner homemade. There's like half a bottle of whiskey in this.
Oh,
Yeah.
yuck.
There's all this Bailey's, Kahlua, vodka, I think.
Although, like,
and milk.
mocha vibe with the
Not a
Nesquik.
vibe.
No, okay.
No, not a vibe at all. I was like, I've just ruined
Yeah.
my chocolate milk.
I was going to say the panic goes from thinking it's off milk to, geez, we need to savour this, clean that up,
Yeah.
start licking the floor, you've wasted the whiskey.
The precious eggnog.
Jeez.
But, haven't we all just accidentally drunk something we shouldn't have?
Oh, absolutely. One time I was working and I had a protein shake, like a pre-made one in a bottle.
Yeah.
Because, gains. And I opened up the bottle, took a drink, and it was disgusting. Never tasted anything like it. It was expired a year ago.
Oh, a year?
Yeah. It
Really?
was foul. I did one of these.
Once again.
Let's open up the
Spitting out
text
right.
line here. What did you accidentally drink?
Yeah, so got this one here. Accidentally sculled straight vinegar that was being stored in a Sprite bottle.
Oh, no good.
That's the spitting out.
Yeah.
Once again.
This one here says, jet lagged after a flight home from London, reached for the water and drank my eye makeup remover.
Jesus.
Oh.
No, thank you.
Can only imagine what that must taste like. Another text here. Have always tasted bourbon whenever I drank coffee as it cooled down. Always thought it was strange till one day my mum told me she used to put bourbon in her coffee when we were kids. So obviously as a kid I used to sneak drink her coffee not knowing it had bourbon.
Also, the bourbon... There's a bit going on
How
there,
many times
isn't
did
there?
you say bourbon?
Person loves bourbon.
A brown spirit in your coffee, far out. What about this one here? It says, a couple of years when I was a young and I used to drink soft drinks straight out of the bottle. And my parents got sick of it real quick. To teach me a lesson, they once mixed the delicious Fanta with vinegar. And boy, did it change my life forever.
Jeez, vinegar ruining lives once again.
That would be hectic.
Yeah, this one here, I feel like in Australia, I don't know, it seems like a common one at barbecues or whatever, but someone said I stupidly placed my beer next to my last beer, which we were now using as an ashtray.
Oh.
Never have I been more disgusted in my life.
Here's a short story somebody's texted in. And they said that they once spat out an off VB beer. Their crappy mates planned this for over a year. The poor glass bottle went through hell before I took a sip. They left it in the sun for 6 months, fridge, on the stove in boiling water, then fridge, then sun, then shook it up about 10,000 times. They took pics of themselves doing this for a whole year, then gave it to me after my first beer so I wouldn't be sus. I swallowed some. This was 10 years ago and I can still taste it.
It's a huge dedication to a home science experiment just to have a rank beer after 10 years.
Yeah, for what, 10 seconds laugh.
It's psychological warfare there. Oh, guys, are we reading out this last one or not?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay, here we go. I was tidying up some empty cans in the morning and I found my Mrs. Diet Coke can with a little left in the bottom. So I took a sip. It was a little thick, so I swallowed down the rest. Then I realised she was using it to spit into while she was doing her teeth whitening on the couch the night before.
Nah. Nah, that's an ick.
Dump her.
Oh, podcast my podcast. Oh, podcast my podcast. Oh, podcast my podcast.
Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
So you might have seen there's a new ad out for Australian lamb. They've released their annual advert ahead of Australia Day, and I think it's really odd that we even have a ad for lamb in general. It's not a company or anything. It's just the product itself, a lamb.
Yeah, it's one of those things I assume like tourists come here from overseas and they go back to their families and they're like, can you believe it? In Australia, they had an advert on the TV for a lamb.
Yeah.
It's just like, it is such a like weird concept, isn't it?
It certainly is, but this ad is actually pretty great. It's like an epic film, you know, it goes for a couple of minutes, but basically the point of the ad is to say that lamb brings everyone together. Beautiful sentiment. I don't think the sheeps agree.
No.
No, they'd have a lot to say.
But it's poking fun at the population's generational divide. So no one is safe in this ad. Basically, it goes through each generation and it's a piss take, really.
Yeah.
And like I said, I laughed quite a bit through the advert. This is the Gen Z portion.
Hey, do you think all this screen time is adversely affecting our social skills?
Well, it could be worse. We could be in our early 30s.
And it's so true, it could be worse.
So,
Being in your early 30s is hell.
I haven't seen,
Tough, is it? Yeah.
I haven't seen the ad properly, but you know, what I'm gauging just from that little snippet, there's a lot of depth to this lamb ad.
Oh, there's
So
heaps
it was
going
just
on.
So layered.
And then they go on to make fun of the millennials.
Hey, millennials are still cool, right?
So not slay.
Are we saying slay now?
Slay.
Oh,
Slay.
like I said, no one is safe. But as you said, this is about lamb.
Where is the lamb bit? Where does the lamb come into it?
So basically, all the generations are on these different islands, and the lamb is in the middle, and all the islands merge in together towards the Weber with the
Right.
lamb in it.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously,
Abstract.
obviously, that's the only way to sell lamb.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
If there's one thing that I'm really bad at, just one thing, but if there is
If
one,
we can only pick one.
it's opening letters.
Oh, no, I'm dreadful at it.
I'm so bad at it. What about you? Do you
is
get
it
any
just,
letters?
you get a few letters here and there. Yeah, definitely.
From the grandma, $50 birthday.
Yeah. It's my salary right there. You know, spend that on a weekend. But are you talking about the stressful nature of opening a bill, or are you just saying you don't get around to opening the letters quickly enough?
I mean, any letters. The anxiety it gives me is like being hunted for sport.
You ever tried to use one of those letter openers, like with the little knife thing?
Oh, we don't need tools for this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not reaching reaching for it often enough that it's fine. But it is usually because I owe money somewhere. And money generally I don't have. So
you want to put it off as long as you can.
Well, over the holidays, I had a letter sitting on my dressing table, which is usually what my mum does when it's like, oi, can you please open this?
Yeah. It's from the council
And
or
I
something.
usually slip it into
crap.
the top drawer, which is why I usually end up paying double the fines that I get, because it's the vibe that I am as a person. But this letter that was sitting on my dressing table was addressed to both me and my ex from a bank that we used to bank with.
Geez, so you're still copying the letters for you and your ex on the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also why it's probably stressful.
I mean...
it's not the greatest thing to open up, is it?
No, well, I just thought, here we go. No doubt we've left an account open or something, and here's a bill for 1,000 debits that we've left sitting there awaiting repayment from us. But I opened the letter, and it's actually the opposite.
Oh.
It was a letter explaining that over the 10 years of banking, we missed out on some interest.
Ooh, okay, well, that's exciting.
And I'm thinking, oh, baby, 10 years of banking, 2 incomes. What type of riches have we landed on here? Well, boys, the cheque I received in the mail was for a cool $6.56, baby.
Hey!
Happy New Year.
$6.56. That could have just maybe afford you a coffee this morning.
Maybe, not even.
10 years of hard work, let's splurge today.
I
Get us some lollies from the convenience store, I reckon.
Red frogs for all.
I'm sweating. I've never seen that kind of money in my life.
Sometimes me think, what is friend? Then me say, friend is someone to listen to Davo, Tom and Callum podcast. Cookie, nom 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 nom.
We have the Top 92 party this weekend. We were just talking about how pumped we are. Of course, we're going to be broadcasting live from 12 till 6 p.m. and counting down the top 92 tracks of 2023.
Yeah, that's down at the Pier Hotel in Glenelg. We hope to see as many of you there as we can. It is a free event, so it's going to be absolutely wild. And the weather looks amazing for Saturday as well.
It certainly does. I can't wait to see what number one's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very close at the moment. The votes are so tied, so keen to see the outcome there, but it is a pretty huge top 10.
And not only that, we do have a special treat after the countdown. Once we've announced number one, we actually have the Lunar Society from this song, obviously. And they're going to be putting on an absolute show for us after the countdown.
Yeah, massive song from last year as well. We gave this an absolute rinse. So I'm keen to see where this might end up in the top 92 count.
Yeah, well,
Definitely.
we did speak to the boys about that, and they reckon if they get in the top 20, one of them's doing a nudie run.
I like how it was
Which we
one
don't
of them,
condone.
because obviously
Seriously.
they are a
Like, please don't.
They are a duo, the Lunar Society, though, and I love that. One of them is more tame than the other, and,
It's a real Bert and Ernie situation.
One in particular of that group really tried to coax the other into doing the nudie run, but it's definitely not about it.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. But look, this event is so good, and it is so good that you could potentially ditch another event for it. Now, that's exactly what one of my mates is doing, and he's a bit of a loose unit, he's a bit of a menace, and you would not believe what he's ditching for the Top 92 party.
What is it?
His sister's wedding.
Really? Really? Surely if we have like a
Full blood sister.
do we have like a fresh badge to give, like an honourable fans of Fresh, someone who would actually ditch a relative's wedding?
I think that's a dishonourable badge.
Yeah, we can't condone that, even if it is the top 92.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's going to the wedding in the morning. He's spending as much time as he needs to be there to show face, get in the photo.
Have a few drinks, have some nibbles, take what you can get, and then run.
And then he's ditching it.
Yeah, chat to everyone so it seems like you were there the whole time.
Yes.
Maybe sneak back there after the event.
Well, he's going to be working really hard because he's going to have to make sure that gets all sorted before he leaves.
Well, do you know, has he told you where the wedding is? Is it really far from Glenelg?
It's not close.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the gateway drug for this person's life. You know, first they're skipping out the weddings, then their kids' Christmases, birthdays, just to come to Fresh events.
Look, let's open up the text line here. What event did you blow off, Adelaide?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ones that you could absolutely not go to. I remember I didn't go to actually, I don't want to say it on
Or was it? It sounded like on the tip of your tongue funeral. But...
No, it was the 30th and I
30th.
didn't go because I wanted to stay home.
Right. And I guess another big one as well, sure, like baby showers, things like that. People love to ditch.
Yeah, the birth of a child as well.
Surely. Fishing trip.
Yeah. Now, somebody's texted in here, I ditched my half-sister's wedding because she's a mole. No excuse. I just didn't want to go. I wish I read that ahead.
Nah, that makes
huge
sense.
one.
We get it. That's sisters. That's just sisters doing their
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Sibling rivalry, you know. Call her a mole. Don't go to the wedding. This one here, it was my own graduation. I had COVID, but I was relieved because I didn't want everyone looking at me on stage.
Yeah, can relate.
Fair enough.
This one here, it says, I didn't rock up to my own 30th birthday because I got too lit at the lunch beforehand.
Yeah, that's happened to a few people, I reckon.
That's classic getting into your 30s crisis, surely. Just have a bender on the weekend.
Somebody else has texted in here saying a family funeral. Blew it off.
Yep, there you go.
Wasn't keen.
Yeah, it's a huge one. I love this one. Skipped a mate's baby shower because he spoiled the gender a few days before anyway. Didn't feel the need to attend. I already know what happens. As if it's like a movie. No, I won't watch Shutter
It's
Island.
like someone spoiling the ending.
I already know the twist.
You're listening to Davo, Tom and Callum, the podcast.
So over the holidays, I went up the river, up to Morgan, Scotts Creek. We were lucky enough to stay at my family's shack and rip in and have a good time.
Yeah, beauty.
And we went swimming heaps like the river rats that we are, and we made friends because we were down by the bank quite a bit, and we made friends with the neighbours, and there was a bit of a family guy there with a bunch of kids.
Yeah, Peter
Go
Griffin.
on, yeah.
The whole family. Yeah. Giving a few of them.
But what he was doing, he was there with his family and he was taking the kids out on jet ski rides.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun watching them because the kids were loving it sick. And every time he sort of took off with another kid, which... took off with another kid
Another one.
on the jet
Yoink.
ski for a ride.
Kids, were you stealing?
The kids would sort of be screaming, you know, splash us, Dad.
Yeah.
So what he would do is, you know, he'd lightly rev the motor and give them a bit of a spray. Anyway, one of the genius blokes that we were with were like, oi, mate, get us,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and we're all sort of sitting in there floating in the river in our life jackets, you know.
Yeah.
And I saw something switch within the dad. You know, there was a glimmer in his eye that dads don't often get without an AFL win or 30 beers.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the look of, all right, it's not the kids' time anymore. These are adults. I'm going to go full pelt.
Well, mate, that's exactly what happened because he's revved his motor and he's coming at us with this jet ski and I'm looking at this look on this guy's eyes and I'm
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
This is Speed 3, the new Keanu Reeves, the jet ski that couldn't stop.
And he does his little quick turn in front of us. And this tsunami wave comes at us that I can only describe as one of the hardest hits of water that I've ever received.
Yeah.
It's hit us, like, and I'm talking like smack, like
Yeah. Oh,
real-
right.
got us.
Do you have like the red raw sort of on your skin after
Well,
that?
no, one bloke lost his sunglasses.
God, I thought you were going to say his sight.
My ear filled up with water. My sunglasses are akimbo. My hair's gone into a comb over.
Yeah, right.
And this dad has revved off, and you can hear him in the distance.
Sounds evil.
Yeah, it sounds like a dad.
First you get the sugar, then you get the power, then you get the Davo, Tom and Callum podcast.
A huge weekend it was. Obviously, we had two massive festivals. We had Heaps Good on Saturday, and we had Wildlands on the Sunday. A lot of people doing the back-to-back.
Few brave souls out there.
I wonder if there are a few survivors out there. I feel like they'll be resting up this week, definitely doing the back-to-back on the festivals.
Yeah, you'd hope you weren't going back to work on the Monday.
Absolutely not.
Be a tough slog.
Yeah, but awesome lineup. You know, a lot of fresh favourites. Like we said before, you had Rufus, Flume, Peggy Goo. So avalanches as well between both festivals. So heaps of good ones there. But going to Wildlands, what a spectacle. It was a really, really good festival. Love being out in the massive outdoor setting.
And I must say, Ellis Park is becoming a really great little spot for festivals.
Definitely.
I enjoyed it there. I thought it wasn't too spaced out or anything. Like you could go there and really get the full gauge of the festival.
Yeah.
It was great.
Fairly easy to find people as well. Like, you know,
We didn't find each other. Weird.
Yes, we did.
It was so easy.
I linked up with everyone else, but not one in particular. But it was an awesome, spot to do it. But one thing that I did notice that was very cool, and haven't really seen it too much at festivals, is the big outdoor space that's out the front of the festival as you get up to the fence. And it was pretty much its own little festival there. There were so many people hanging around, sitting around and stuff, that it was its own little spot that if you didn't have a ticket, you could just hang around and listen.
Yeah, heaps of people were, packing picnic rugs and they were sitting out there and just listening to the music. It actually looked like quite a good setup because obviously at Ellis Park, there was where the festival was only a small section of the whole oval, so there was plenty of space to go and get a picnic rug, and the sound was pretty good. So they definitely schemed those guys.
Bit of a hack, you could say.
No, it was a bit of a festival hack, and it did get us thinking about all those different festival hacks that you do to, see the show kind of on the sly, I guess.
Yeah, we want to open up the phone lines here, 1300 737374. What was your festival hack? I remember I used to be on a Facebook page for a pretty predominant music festival that happens annually here in South Australia. And this Facebook page used to say where the best spots to sneak in were. There would be people digging holes under the fence and be like, go to this location and you can climb under the hole. Not that I ever did it.
No, of course not.
No.
This isn't a festival, but my mum, back in the day, my grandpa used to go sneak them into the drive-ins.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't sneak them in, but they would go to their friend's house, which had a roof, and they'd sit up there and then watch the movie for free.
Right, okay. That's a great one.
That's great,
a few deck chairs on the roof.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, another good one. We had a mate that tried out the high vis, and I feel like it's a classic. Slap on the high vis, look like a tradie, bring a ladder in or something, and no one questions anything.
Somebody's texted in saying, I once wore a lanyard and strut into VIP with confidence. Had no idea if it would work. The trick is to show no fear, cool as.
I could never. I would absolutely give myself away with the sweat beads coming down my forehead.
The lanyard is just their old Blockbuster card.
Yeah. I'd love to see what the no fear cool as look is from this person as well. Just sunnies on, tilt in the back as
Blue
you go
steel.
through. Yeah. The model walk. We got this one here. When the FOMO festival was on, it used to be right here at the Torrens. It was great from those little paddle boats. You'd paddle out to the river, take some snacks, enjoy the music from the water. It was a lot cheaper than a ticket too.
That's cheeky, isn't it?
That is a little cheeky.
Paddle boat hire. What about this one here? Another sort of similar one. A kayak is the best spot in the House for Laneway Festival.
Oh, back when Laneway was at the port.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, they did that in Sydney as well. There was a couple on the news that did that in the harbour over New Year's.
Yeah, right.
And they got into a little bit of trouble, I think.
Best seats in the house.
Can't help but to be impressed. I'm keen to see, someone bring a little barbecue on one of those. A little portable, something to cook food on for the kayaks.
Hey, let's cross over to Aberfoyle Park. We got Tara on the line. Tara, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, good, thank you. Hey, Tara, what's your festival hack?
I went to Heaps Good during the weekend and I saw everyone ripping apart their paper cups, like the Red Bull cups, and use them as fans because it was so hot inside.
Right.
Oh.
That's a good one.
That's different. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Did you do it, Tara, as well? Did you join the trend?
Yeah, I got into it at the end because I was so sweaty, but at first I thought I was better than them. I'm not gonna lie.
Doing the double-handed like salsa dancing with the fans.
Yeah.
It feels like you're biting the hand that feeds you. Red Bull often, increase your heart rate, get you nice and warm, and then you're trying to fan it off.
Yeah, Red Bull gives you wings. Fly away with those fans.
Oh my God.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.